Nice of you to drop in.
Hello people, I'm the Real Comic Book Gamer, and today I'm going to be talking about the death of Batman, how I would do it, because Batman is one of the few big characters that hasn't really had a death event, like you could argue Final Crisis was, but Final Crisis, he didn't really die, he got sent back to the past, and then he came back to the future, and it was just a lot of confusing stuff, and he didn't actually die. So yeah, this is how I would do a death of Batman storyline. For this, I will not be covering like panel to panel to panel. I'll just be going like broadly of how I would do the story. And so yeah, let's get started. I would open up with Joker holed up in a building, just like tons of bodies everywhere, and Joker just sitting there with some henchmen, and we see these guys with Argus patches on their arms moving in on Joker. They're going to go and try and kill him, but needless to say, that doesn't work out so well. Some henchmen kill a lot of them, then like a couple of them make it, are able to kill all his henchmen, but then Joker goes and like starts taking them out one by one. Then it cuts to Batman on the rooftop, busting into the building, running through the hallway, but once he gets to the end of the hallway, he sees Joker just brutally stabbing this woman who's an Argus agent, and then Batman and him have a confrontation, and during this confrontation, Batman asks Joker why he did it, because what's been going on is Joker's been killing a lot of people, and it turns out they're all Argus agents, all these people that he's been killing, because, you know, Argus has people everywhere, including Gotham, so he's been killing all of them, and Joker tells him simply it's because they took Harley from him to join Suicide Squad. Now, he tells him it's not because he needs Harley, it's the principle of the matter. He treats Harley like his property. You don't just take Joker's property, because obviously he does not need Harley whatsoever. He's worked on his own before, but it's purely because it's Joker's property. He doesn't like people taking things that are his. That's the way he feels about it, and so he was just trying to inflict as much pain on Argus as possible, and then was going to eventually work his way to the top and kill Waller. That's why Amanda Waller sent a hit squad after him. Now, the reason the hit squad was not Suicide Squad was because she's saving Suicide Squad to protect her, because, you know, they're the best of the best at Argus, and she doesn't want to send them out, and then it turns out it's a trick, and Joker's at Argus, and then he just kills her. So Batman stops Joker, throws him in asylum, you know, the normal stuff that, you know, happens in a Batman book. And so then Batman goes, he confronts Amanda Waller. Well, he's going there, he goes to Argus, and he's about to enter her office when he hears gunshots. So he runs in, and he just sees Amanda Waller with a pistol in her hand, and she's decapitated, and there's no one in the room. Just a couple of shots were fired from her gun, and she's dead. And so then Batman decides to start his full investigation. He investigates everything, that murder, he investigates all the Argus agents that died at Joker's hand, he investigates everything that's been going on. And while he's investigating, he gets Oracle to help him, and they're just like trying to figure all this stuff out. And then you see he finds something, but it's hidden from the reader, because, you know, this happens all the time in comics where Batman's like, oh, well, this, and like the page is positioned to where you're only seeing part of the Bat computer, so you don't know what Batman's actually seeing, and he's not saying it in his head. So it's like, come on, Batman knows something, but the reader doesn't know, and that's how it's done right there. That's how I do it. All we, the reader, knows is the fact that there's urgency in Batman's eyes. So he hops in the Batmobile, books it to Arkham Asylum, gets there, things are a little fishy because there's no guards there, and then Joker is not in his cell, and so Batman goes up to the roof because, you know, he's Batman, so he figures out Joker's on the roof. He goes, he sees Joker is tied up by Deathstroke. Deathstroke's right there next to him. Deathstroke tells Batman that he has failed one too many times, and at this point we learn that Adeline Kane was the woman who died earlier at the hands of Joker. Now, Adeline Kane is Deathstroke's ex-wife, for those of you who don't know, and yeah, that's pretty big. Deathstroke's kind of still hung up on her, even though she's his ex-wife. He still absolutely loves her, and I'll get into other stuff later about all this, but at the moment, these two are at odds, and so you think, hey, Deathstroke's just going to cut Joker's head off. Well, no, he just lunges at Batman. So they start fighting. Deathstroke has the upper hand, he's winning, but then out of nowhere comes Nightwing, and he starts evening the odds a bit, and we see that, we hear that Oracle tells Batman, hey, you know, I sent Nightwing over because if there's anyone that understands Deathstroke, it's Nightwing. And so Nightwing starts evening the odds, and they're fighting, and then Deathstroke just has enough of it. He tells him he's done playing, and he just knocks Nightwing out cold, and then breaks Batman's arm, and fights, throws Batman over towards Joker. Also, during this whole fight, it's not like Deathstroke just toying with them. No, Deathstroke is getting hit as well by Nightwing and Batman. It's not like Deathstroke's just dodging them like nothing. No, he's getting hit as well. But he ends up breaking Batman's arm, throws him towards Joker, And then Batman lunges towards Deathstroke. Deathstroke takes his sword and impales Batman. All the while, when he impales Batman, he's looking straight at Joker in the eyes. And Joker loses it when he kills Batman. Joker just starts screaming and crying and cursing at Deathstroke. And just like tells Deathstroke he's going to murder him. And is losing it because he killed Batman. So Joker just starts cursing at Deathstroke, crying, yelling. He absolutely hates Deathstroke, telling him how he's going to kill him, telling him how, like, all the different ways he's going to kill him, how he's going to, like, rip his bones apart and, like, shove them down his mouth. All this different stuff, and Deathstroke just leaves. He leaves there with Joker wailing while Batman's dead in front of him, and Nightwing's just unconscious, and Joker's chained up with no way out. Deathstroke just leaves, and that's how that book ends. But I would also have a mini-series that come out after called The Killing of Batman, which is a mini-series that would be from the point of view of Deathstroke, and it would explain a ton of things. The reason I would do this is, if you guys have read Final Crisis and the Final Crisis Companion, those are really good together, because Martian Manhunter in Final Crisis dies, but he just, like, literally just plain dies. There's not really a lead-up or anything. It's just like, oh, well, Martian Manhunter's dead, but if you read the Companion, there's a lot more backstory to it, and you see how Martian Manhunter died and why he died, and it added a lot of story to where when Martian Manhunter died in Final Crisis, like, well, he's dead. So I always think that, like, doing a death of character, doing it from the villain's perspective, could really work out well. And so that's why I would do it like this, and this is how I would do The Killing of Batman. How I would open this book is I would have Deathstroke mid-mission on, you know, he's going to kill a corrupt politician like he normally does, and then Wintergreen tells him Adeline is dead. He just, because, you know, Wintergreen's normally on his intercom or with him, but this time I wouldn't have Wintergreen with him. I'd have Wintergreen at, like, a secure location at his base, and then he's, like, you know, in his earpiece telling him, hey, Adeline's dead. So Deathstroke finishes his mission, he goes back to base, and he tries to figure out all that happened. So Deathstroke finds out that she was working with Amanda Waller, which wasn't too uncommon because Adeline Kane did do a lot of weird jobs, so working for Amanda Waller isn't exactly a stretch, and the reason she's working for Amanda Waller, as we knew earlier, is the fact that Amanda Waller wanted someone that could kill the Joker, so she had all her Argus agents, and she hired Adeline Kane to help her. So Adeline Kane did, but she ended up getting killed by the Joker because she couldn't handle it, which, again, Adeline Kane has gotten into situations like this before, so again, not uncommon for Adeline Kane. So she got killed. Deathstroke finds that out. He goes after Amanda Waller first because without Amanda Waller, you know, trying to save her own fat butt, then Adeline would not have been in this situation in the first place. He goes, he kills Amanda Waller without breaking much of a sweat, and that's, you know, like we saw from Batman's POV, how Amanda Waller was just plain dead. We find out it was Deathstroke who decapitated her, and then later on we see that Deathstroke is planning on killing Batman and not Joker. So Wintergreen asks him, hey, why are you planning on killing Batman and not Joker? Because, you know, Joker's the one responsible. Although Batman, you could argue, you know, let it happen. He didn't actually kill her. So Deathstroke tells Wintergreen, saying, because hell would be too much fun for the Joker. This is the only way to actually hurt Joker, because if he kills him, then Joker's gone. And, you know, he's dead, which, you know, would be a good revenge. But if he kills Batman, that's worse pain than he could ever hope to inflict on Joker, ever. Having Batman just dead. Like we saw in The Dark Knight Returns when Batman, like, just disappeared. Joker went into a shell and was gone for years until Batman came back. Without Batman, life has no punchline. As we've seen Joker before, he just falls apart without Batman. So that's why he figures on that's the best way to get back at Joker. Also, it's a way to get at Batman because of the pure fact that Batman did, you know, allow Joker to kill him. So killed two birds with one stone. Well, technically killing one bird, but you know what I mean. While Deathstroke is planning all this, we see that he gets approached by Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor says, hey, I want to help you. And Deathstroke just asks him, okay, why do you want to help me? And so he tells him, the reason I want to help you, Slade Wilson, is because without Batman, Superman is in a world of hurt, because this is pre-New 52, and so they are best friends. Superman and Batman are the bestest of friends. He kills him, that puts a world of hurt on him. Also, this covers up the whole, like, hey, Deathstroke's just going to plain murder Batman, and so the Justice League are going to get on his back, and by that, Deathstroke is no longer available for jobs for Lex Luthor, because as we've seen before, Deathstroke and Lex Luthor have a mutual respect for each other, and Deathstroke has worked with Lex Luthor in the past, like in the Black Green storyline, when Lex Luthor was going looking for, like, these black sphere energies, he hired Deathstroke to protect him, and also during when Deathstroke had his whole Titans phase, like when he had his own Teen Titans team, Lex Luthor hired Deathstroke to protect him from someone else, and he's also hired him for other stuff. But anyways, those are a few examples. And during this whole time, like, Deathstroke knows that Lex Luthor is a respectable guy that always honors his agreement and pays up, and Deathstroke just knows that, you know, well, they have a mutual respect is what I was trying to say, and what I already said earlier. And so, Deathstroke being out of the way is not good business for Lex Luthor, because Deathstroke and Lex Luthor are not competing together. Deathstroke being alive is only, well, being around is only good for Lex Luthor, so that way he can use him for future jobs. Also, like I was saying, getting Batman out of the way really hurts Superman as well. So, Deathstroke takes advantage of this, and Lex Luthor's able to pay everyone off at Arkham Asylum, so that way Deathstroke can have his final showdown, and he also takes the blame for it. Not like straight up, hey, I hired this guy to, you know, kill Batman. No, he put seeds in the underworld, spreading, saying, hey, Lex Luthor's the one who hired Deathstroke to kill Batman because of this, this, and this. And so, and when Deathstroke kills Batman, instead of everyone be like, we have to go after Deathstroke, he just killed Batman, it's more like, well, he's doing a job. Granted, we will still go after him, but not as heavily because Lex Luthor's the one behind it all. And that's not exactly bad for Lex, because Lex is, you know, this big guy that's kind of untouchable, and since there's not really any hard proof, they just know he hired him, then they can't really go after him legally. They'll have to wait for him to slip up, and so Lex is safe until then. So then we see Deathstroke enact his plan like we saw from Batman's point of view, but this time from Deathstroke's point of view. And before Batman arrives, we see that Deathstroke tells Joker he's going to kill him the second Batman shows up. So Joker thinks, oh, I'm going to die from Deathstroke. But instead, the whole switcheroo happens to where he kills Batman right in front of Joker. And Joker just loses it like I was saying before. And yeah, that's how I would end it. We see that Joker just goes straight into like a complete sort of awake coma, because, you know, he's just gone. He's no longer there. Batman's gone, so there's no point in living for him anymore, but he's still alive, sort of like Dark Knight Returns. He has no purpose of living. He's just done. And so that's how I would end it, with Joker being completely done, Deathstroke getting his revenge, and Deathstroke just going off. And yeah, that's how I would end the death of Batman. I think it'll be a really cool death, because dying at the hands of Deathstroke is something very big, because Deathstroke is not like a little villain or anything. He's a huge guy, and this will also give cool creds for Deathstroke, and I just think it would be awesome. It'd be a great story arc, at least in my opinion. I know I didn't cover every single little detail, but I just want to cover it broadly, because if I did, this would be a super long video. So yeah, guys, that was a story I just thought up one night when I couldn't get to sleep. I was just saying, hey, you know what? Batman hasn't had a death of event. Well, what would I do if I was in charge of that? So I thought of this. I thought this would just be a really cool story showcasing Batman, Deathstroke, and Joker. I think it'd be really cool for all three of those characters, because you have the death of Batman at the hands of Deathstroke, a master assassin. There's not really any better way to go out than being killed by Deathstroke. That's just really cool. It's showing Deathstroke like being awesome. It's also showing the breaking of Joker, which we don't really see too often. Generally, you know, people just beat on him, nothing happens. But we have seen elements, like when Lex Luthor was captured by Joker, and he told Joker that Batman loved Catwoman more than he loved Joker, and Joker just flipped out on him and just started going crazy. So we do see that Joker has weak points, and I think it would be cool if Deathstroke knew that, because if anyone does, you think it would be Deathstroke, who's a master assassin / planner. And even though I didn't elaborate much on the Batman vs. Deathstroke fight, I really want to make it completely epic, like a really awesome final battle between Batman and Deathstroke, and then we see Deathstroke gets the upper hand, but then Nightwing comes in and it gets even more epic until Deathstroke decides, hey, it's time to finish it. And I just think that would be an awesome way for Batman to go out. And throughout this book, which I didn't really, like, you know, go into great detail, because like I was saying, this is all a broad stroke of my idea, would be Batman figuring things out. Like when he figures out that Adeline Kane was the Argus agent who died. Like, you know, I said that he was going to, you know, investigate everything and go all into it, but I didn't go into great depth. That would be an awesome part of the book, to where Batman's just trying to figure out every single little thing. Like, why is Amanda Waller all of a sudden dead? She's just dead. And why was Joker killing Argus agents? Well, he said why, but is there anything beneath that? Is there any other reason? Amanda Waller's really afraid for her life. this is just some weird stuff. Who killed Amanda Waller? And just seeing Batman finding all that stuff out would be awesome. At least I think it would be. Of course, I came up with the idea, so of course I'm going to be biased to myself. And I didn't really elaborate earlier. I forgot all about was how I said Suicide Squad would be there to protect Amanda Waller. Well, what I think would happen with that is Deathstroke does not want to draw attention to himself, so we've seen him go stealthy before. I think he would easily make it past all of the Suicide Squad and go get to Waller and kill her like she did. And so when Batman goes into the room, the Suicide Squad does as well, and Batman just like leave, and the Suicide Squad's like, well, we don't really care. Waller's dead. We're fine now. So, yeah, I think they would leave and Batman would continue the investigation. And, yeah, I really do think Deathstroke can make it past Suicide Squad pretty easily because the Suicide Squad would not be straight there right next to Amanda Waller because, you know, Amanda Waller does like her privacy, but they would probably be, like, in the surrounding room, and so Deathstroke could definitely get past them. And, yeah, that's how I would do that. That's just some, like, a loophole I saw, and, of course, there are probably many others, but, again, this was just a broad stroke, not going into great detail. So, yeah, please let me know in the comments below what did you guys think of my idea for a Death of Batman storyline, and if you had to do a Death of Batman storyline, how would you do it? Also, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like.